Welcome to part 7 of this puzzle run on chess.com, where I invite you to follow along as I solve these tactical puzzles. And so let's begin. In this position, it looks like the knight has just moved here to b3. And so let's see here. It appears that I should just capture, but is there a better move? How about this and this? A mate. So always look for king safety problems in these puzzles. Many times the king will be vulnerable to an attack, and so that's the first thing to check for, your king and the opponent's king. All right, let's move on to the next one. Hopefully you found that one. Okay, this knight has just moved here, attacking my knight. All right, do we have any threat to the king? My king could be checked here, so we have to watch out for that. Okay. Have you found the correct move here? Let's see. I see a couple options. Well, okay, well, I see this knight check here and a fork. We could capture the rook, but then this bishop will have an attack on this bishop and fork my two rooks. So how do we follow that up? Do we check and then capture here? That is possible. All right. Well, then we have this problem here. All right. Well, let's try that. Okay, and then well, before I just capture, now we have this option to check again. And if he captures, we capture with a check here. And then, is there a follow-up to that? Capture, check. Then we could capture again. All right, well, this is tricky. So do I go for a check or do I follow up with just a capture of the rook? Let's try that. Nope, they probably wanted the fork there. All right, let's see what we should have done. Retry. Maybe they want us. No, they don't want that either. Interesting. All right, let's check it again. What is best here? Okay. Well, maybe we just capture with that. Okay, that's what they wanted. All right. Well, then after king move, does it matter if we move right or left? Maybe move into the side. All right, well, that one was a little tricky. Okay, hopefully you did better than I did on that one. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, the knight has moved here to c6, and what do we have? All right. Well, we have a check on the king, and hopefully you've seen that. So let's begin with that attack, and then we can follow up with the queen. And should we check first, though, with this bishop? That may be to our advantage. Okay. And now with the queen and mate. All right. And hopefully you saw that one. Let's move on to the next one here. And this bishop has just moved here, lining up on my king. What do we have going on in this position? So what can white do? Okay, have you found the move? And feel free to pause these if you need extra time to find out what you think the correct move is. All right, so once again, the king neglected his safety and allowed us to checkmate there. So moving on to the next one. The bishop captures here, attacking the queen. So what can we do here? Well, let's look at the material and see if it is even on both sides, which it looks like it is. All right, so if we capture and then capture, the king captures, all right, have you found the move yet? Let's see, we have a check, but does that do anything? If we check that, capture the f7 pawn, is there any follow-up to that? Let's see. Or do we just move the queen to b3, attacking the b pawn? Well, this is tricky. So we have different options here. Do we trade the pieces? If we capture the bishop with the queen and the knight captures, then we can capture his queen, but then he can recapture with the rook, and I don't see an advantage there. Do we sacrifice the bishop, pulling the king to the f7 square? Then we can check with the queen. All right. Well, all right. Not sure in this one. And that was wrong, so let's retry. All right, after this move, either queen here lining up on both of these, or do we just capture with the queen? Or do we just block? Nope, it doesn't want that. Okay, let's try this. It doesn't want that either. Okay, I'm starting to have trouble figuring this one out. So another option is this, and that is what it wanted. All right. All right, and here we end up a piece ahead. So that was an interesting and tricky little combination there. If we go back, take a look at that. So after this capture, okay, I see. We went ahead in material there. So that makes sense. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Hopefully you did better than I did on that one. So here we go. We have a rook moving to g2, attacking our queen. But the black pieces are trying to push that pawn forward. Okay, is there any weakness on the king here? Any weakness that we can exploit on this white king? All right. Well, if we capture, the queen is pulled off, and we move forward. I don't see how that would do anything. Ah, okay. I think I found it. Hopefully you found it before I did. All right. What do you think here? Have you found your move that you believe will be the best? All right. Capture, and then we can push forward. There we go. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, the king has moved because it was in check by the queen. So how do we take advantage of this king being out in the open, although black's king is in the open as well? So, what do we do here? Well, we have a possible check. All right. What do you think is the correct move in this position? All right. Well, my immediate thought is that this bishop here can check on c5. And then the king is forced to move and has different options. We probably need to activate this rook. So if we check with the bishop, the king can move to one of three different light squares here. And so what follow-up will work then? Check. If the king moves forward, we can check with a pawn. If the king moves here, we can check with the queen. to here. All right, so I say this is the best move here. And so it doesn't go any further, but it looks like the three options for the king are to go here. And then what do we have? What is the follow-up? A check by the queen, but then the king can escape to here. And then it's a little tough to see. Oh, okay. If we have this move as well, the queen capturing on f2 there. So, and he can't move forward, but if he goes here, we can capture on f2, and so then that causes problems. All right, so that was the follow-up. This queen capture on f2. All right, but if he goes here, we can just bring the rook over. Okay. All right, on to the next one. Sorry if I'm going over that one and taking a little longer. All right, so the queen has moved here to a2, attacking our queen. And what do we have here? Have you found the move yet? I think I found this one. And once again, the king is not safe. So how do we exploit this weakness? And so, have you found the sequence? And I better take a quick look at this before I decide. If I go there, all right. Well, I thought I found it immediately, but there might be one little escape move by white. Let me double check here. All right. So, what do you guys think? And girls. So if we have rook to g3, if there's a capture, then we can just capture with mate. But if the king moves to h4, then how do we follow that up? Do we go we go there. That may be an escape. Okay. Well, that may have put a wrench in my plan. Okay, so if rook checks on g3 and the king moves forward, if I move the rook and with a discovered check, this queen can just capture my queen. So I need something better. Well, still think rook to g3, check, but how do you follow it up? He moves to h4, and then what will we do next? Rook. All right, anyway, maybe this is the wrong move. Is there something else that we can do? We could check here. That may work. queen to f1, check, and then after a move, okay, so maybe that will work. No, queen to f1, check, or do we just capture this pawn? Maybe that. Oh my, is it that easy? Did I just miss a very simple move? All right. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so check. And I don't know, maybe I was thinking this, excuse me, this pawn was protected. So capture, he has to move, and then we mate here. Sorry about that. Maybe I need some water. I must have been dehydrated. All right. Let's move on here. Okay, so we have bishop to h3, threatening a mate here with the queen. If we just capture, we could just capture possibly. Okay, what other options do we have here? What other options? All right. So, our queen is under attack. Mate is threatened on g2. If we sacrifice our queen, does that do anything? It appears that it does not. Well, okay, the mate is not threatened as the queen is guarding here. Do we just... Alright, are we safe in this position? If we move here and the queen captures with check, then we capture. He could capture, then we would recapture. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I need to wake my brain up. Have you found the move yet? So, capture, check, and mate. The king was vulnerable on the back rank. All right. Whew. Let's try and do better here. On to the next one. So the queen is just captured. And what does black have here? All right, the white queen is trapped. And how do we follow this up? So, or sorry, the white queen is trapped. The white king is kind of trapped here. He's running out of room. So if we go rook check, the king will have to move to here. The knight will jump in, protecting the rook, and that should be mate. All right, there we go. On to the next one. Okay, the white king was in check, has just moved. And how do we follow up the attack here on this white king? All right. Well, we have another check, and I think that will work. Except there may be one escape route. But no, that does not work for white. Okay, here we go. Have you found the move yet? And there we go. The king was not safe once again. All right, on to the next one. The king has just moved because this bishop was checking the king from a distance here. And how do we follow this up? Do we have an attack on white's king? Do we have an attack? I don't... Well, there is one possible check there with the knight, but after the knight is captured, all right, okay, we may have something here. Capture. All right. Okay. All right, I'm starting to see a sequence of moves. What do you guys think? And ladies. Okay. If we check with the knight, capture, the queen checks, the knight would block, the bishop could capture this knight, will that be enough? All right. Looks like we have to do that. Then the bishop captures. All right. And then, oh, we could win the queen here. All right, and we capture the queen. Well, that was an interesting combination of moves. Hopefully, you all found that. All right, on to the next one. I'll try to get up over 1900 if I can today. Let's see how it goes. All right, so bishop has just moved, pinning my knight to the queen. So how do we continue here? Well, we can check. All right. Okay. Have you found the combination of moves? And we have to watch out. Black is threatening a mate here if the queen was not guarding this g2. All right, so the knights will come into play here. And so I don't think it makes a difference which one we attack with. So we'll go with that, check, and mate. All right, on to the next one. I hope you all found that one. Okay, so the pawn is just captured here, and our bishop is under attack. What should we do here? What should we do? Well, okay, what do you guys think? All right. we can capture the queen with our queen, putting him in check. But he could capture with his knight or his king. We could capture with our knight, use our knight on e4 to capture his knight on f6, and his queen could capture that. Alright, our bishop is under attack though. We could just pin that knight. Alright. Well, I don't know. I'm thinking a queen capture. Capture here. If the king goes over, then we can just pin the knight. But then the bishop could come down. We could capture. But if the king stays and the knight comes back here to capture the queen after we have captured, then what? We check and then capture. Alright, I'll try that. Maybe you found something better, but okay, so that's what it wanted. Check. Okay, and then this check will force the king to move, and the king will have to move here, and that will give us time to capture this pawn. And then if the rook maybe attacks both of these bishops, we could... Well, he can't because the knight is here. Okay. Alright. I hope you found that one, and let's move on. So, the bishop moves here, attacking the knight on f6. White's king is in the center of the board, so that is interesting. How can we exploit that? Alright. Well, we have a possible... let's see, a possible check with c5. The king will have to retreat. And then we can check again and capture this bishop. Or, excuse me. Check with the knight and then capture the bishop. Alright, so let's see if that works. I'll double check everything here. So check with the pawn. The king is driven to the e3 square. And then, let's see. Well, we could fork these two pieces with the pawn here. The knight could jump, attacking this rook. Okay. Alright, once again, pawn to c5, check. The king can only move to e3. And what is the best follow-up there? What is the best follow-up? The knight fork? Because then the king would have to move down. Alright, let's begin. And now the knight fork. Oh, that is not what they want. Okay, let's check it out here. There's a better move. Okay. Probably the knight attacking on the other side. And then what? Knight attacking on the other side. And then do we just follow that up with the fork? Or is there something better? Do that. So if we jump there... Alright. Well, now we can capture with a check of the rook. All right. Interesting. Interesting. All right. On to the next one. Okay. So here. Oh, okay. This is a basic king versus king and pawn. And so here you want to keep the opposition. And so in that, you want to keep the opposition where you keep one square in between you and the king. If he moves here and you take the opposition and then he moves his pawn forward, then you want to remain in front of this pawn and he will be forced to push the pawn forward. But I also did a video on opposition, the king and pawn versus king, which would help explain all of that. All right, on to the next one. Try and break 1900 here before this video drags out too long. Okay, we have a castling queen side here. All right. It looks like we could just capture this pawn here with a pawn or the knight. Does it make a difference? And is there anything better? Oh, okay. There is a better move. Have you found it? All right. Pause if you need to. And here we go. And so the queen was pinned to the king, and so you win the queen there for the bishop. All right, on to the next one. A pawn push to h4, and we have a rook and a knight and a pawn. What can we do here? That queen is pretty trapped. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. We can check with the knight. And will that work? Check with the knight. Is there anything crazy? A way that could fork the opponent's king and queen. All right. Well, we could check here. The king will not want to get on the line. So if we check with the knight here to g4, the king will not want to move onto this line because then we can just move back, checking with the rook and attacking the queen with the knight. So if the king moves here or here, we can capture this pawn. So that looks promising. All right. Now, just check to make sure there's not anything better. Okay. And we can check again. All right, do we just check again? Then now that he's gone over here, we can capture his queen, but he'll probably capture the rook. Then we're ahead with this knight, and that should be enough to win. And we have an extra pawn as well. All right, on to the next one. Oh, we have a capture here. Okay, so what can black do to cause problems? Well, I would say this threat here to pin. Or not pin, but fork. So we get the queen, and then we can guard this by jumping back here and stopping that promotion. And then with this extra bishop, we can maneuver our king up here, pick off these pawns. All right, on to the next one. Okay, capture. What does white have here? What does white have? All right. This one looks a little trickier. Okay. Well, we have the possibility to attack both bishops. And the king is very restricted. So let's check for threats against our own king quickly. Alright, I think we could threaten a mate with rook to c7 and then jump over here to f7 would be mate. And how would he prevent that? How would he prevent that? He would have to move a rook to guard this, and that would allow us to pick off his bishop. Alright, and so if he guarded with one of his rooks here to prevent this mate, we could pick off the bishop. Alright, on to the next one. So we're almost at 1900. So, rook to f2. Do we just capture that rook? Let's see here. Okay. Well, the rook is now pinned to the king. We have a rook capture here with check, which would pull the queen away. Then this queen could capture the rook with check, driving the king into the corner. And how would we follow that up? How would we follow that up? Or do we try something different? Queen captures. Queen captures. Rook. The queen would have to block. We could capture. But we're behind in material here. So, okay. Oh, okay. Well, another possibility is capturing with knight. Does that work? This one's a little tricky. So if we captured with the knight, we would have this check. So do we capture here first, then capture with the knight attacking the queen at the same time? And then we have the threat of this move. Okay, I think that's what we do. All right. That's not. I guess it wanted us to capture with the queen there. All right. Well, so we go back, capture with the queen. So that drives that piece back. But then how do we follow this up? Do we just capture the bishop here? And then we would be ahead in material. And we're threatening a fork. All right. On to the next one. The king has moved. All right. The king has moved to g7. We have a check with a rook possible. So check. If the king would move to there, we can. So, all right. What do you think in this one? We have a check with the rook to c7. If the king jumps up into this hole, how do we follow that up? Do we just move here and threaten to come in and he can't stop that? Or he jumps down here and we check from this side, forcing him to move here, and we can go here, here. Okay, I think that's it. All right, so he does go up there. Now, do we just go here and threaten to checkmate there? And I don't think there's any way he could stop that. All right, so he just delays. He just delays. Yeah, I mean, he could capture here and then we capture and he would just run out of moves and he can't stop this. The queen mate here. All right, on to the next one. And if we solve this one, we should break 1900. All right, the king has moved to a4 because he was in check by this bishop. And the king is vulnerable and running out of squares to retreat to. So, what is best here? Do we just capture? Do we just capture this bishop here and threaten to go here with mate, and the queen would be forced to capture here? So I don't know, immediately that looks best. Just capture that bishop, threaten a mate with the queen to b5 after we capture the bishop. But a pawn move will probably be made here, allowing a possible escape with the king back. So do we have anything better? If we had a check, which we do, Alright, I don't know. I still think we should capture that bishop and then threaten a check on b5. But the material will be even 8 points to 8. So 2 bishops and 2 pawns to 1 rook and 3 pawns. I don't know. Maybe there's something better here. Okay. Well, what do we have? We could check with the queen here. He could just block. And then do we have a follow-up? We could also check with this. Check. We could check back and forth with this. Check. What if he goes here? Alright. We check him there. What if he moves forward? I don't know. I keep wanting to capture this bishop with my queen and threaten here. But then we saw if he goes there. And then what? How do we follow up? Okay. Capture with the queen. If he goes here, we check. He jumps back up to here because the pawn will be blocking this bishop. So we could go here and then move up there. Okay. Alright, and so he does that, and I don't have to worry about the follow-up because now we can just capture. Alright. And we made it up over 1900. Sorry that was a little bit longer, and I hope you were able to solve those puzzles. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave comments or suggestions. And so we made it up over 1900. I hope you follow me the next time on the next part of this puzzle run on chess.com. Thank you if you have followed this far, and have a great day.